Hi, thanks for meeting me.
No problem.
I don't have a lot of time, but what I do need from you is I've got a couple of notes here. You may or may not know that we're actually looking at implementing an e-commerce strategy.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I've been set up as project manager. I'm Jane. I've seen you
David.
around the place a little bit, but not really introduced formally, I guess. So thanks for meeting me today.
Good.
What I need from you, I have to do an action plan. So as my technology consultant, I need you to talk to me about the physical resourcing requirements that would I'd need to look at in order to develop an e-commerce website. I've just got some notes here. If I could just get you started, perhaps.
Sure.
As far as internet presence, barbecue fun, what is our internet presence that we've got at the moment, and what would I need to put in place for an e-commerce site?
Okay, well, obviously at the moment we host externally because that gives us the best access to external users. We only have a lot of general product stuff, whereas if you're going to go to e-commerce, we're going to have very specific products. So the amount, so our presence or the amount of hosting we would need would expand. The amount of traffic coming to our website would expand.
Yes.
So all those things additional cost. So even though that server infrastructure is not ours, we pay for usage.
Okay.
We pay for usage.
Would we have to pay more?
Potentially, that we'd have to pay more, but it would be commensurate with the amount of traffic. So one would imagine that if we're making more sales because of more traffic to an e-commerce site, that would essentially fund the site itself.
Okay, so you say potentially maybe more. We've got a ballpark figure annually that we would have to pay?
Additional cost?
Yeah. Just as far as internet presence goes, so I can just kind of do it.
Okay, well, I think you'd have to bank on. So it'll take a while for awareness to ramp up. So let's just say in the first 12 months, we would need to pay for the data transfer from the hosting company, as well as the amount of storage space, etc. we're using. So if you banked on $5,000 to $10,000 as being the initial first 12 months of hosting costs, then that would well and truly cover what was needed.
All right. The next thing is an email address. That'll be the main point of contact for our customers, vendors, and business associates. We'd obviously need to have a new one, wouldn't we?
That's a no-brainer to set up. Well, we already have an existing email address range that matches our website. Everybody's email addresses, so we can have sales at or.
Can that be done in-house?
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's just a housekeeping issue.
Okay, beautiful. Now the next thing that I've got is quite a big one, and that's developing the website. I've got questions as to, well, you've already started talking about the hosting, but my questions are, will it be hosted internally or externally? Although it's expected an external consultant would be developing the new website, that would need to be discussed within the project team and the management, as there'd be a cost, wouldn't there?
Yes.
For taking on a new contractor for that?
Yeah. So there'd be initial startup costs, so all that design. Now, if I may be wrong here, but I would expect that the look and feel and design would be just an extension of what our presence already is.
Yes.
So it would look like a seamless part of the existing website. So what I'd suggest is we would engage our existing external web developer that does all the graphics and what have you for us. The only thing though is that external party would need to work with us internally, because where they would be responsible for the design and construction of the website, they'd be looking to us as the content provider.
Okay.
So obviously with e-commerce, you've got products that are going to come and go all the time. you'll have sales and all those sorts of other sales activities. You might want to show the location of where certain items are or not, etc. So all that content needs to be managed by us internally.
So as a new barbecue, for example, goes on sale, there would be somebody trained here that would put the new product up, set up the metadata, and all that.
So what I'd suggest is somebody within our marketing team that would do that normally anyway. That whole, so there'd be store-based marketing.
Yes.
So for these sort of products and things.
No, not really. We're moving more to an online presence.
Okay, but there would be activities currently that would cover that.
Okay, yes.
So what you might find is internally, you have people with the skill set to manage that content already.
So we would need marketing admin and train them up on the site.
Yeah, we would just need to we just need to identify who they are, and they would. What the best approach would be at some stage of the construction of the e-commerce site, for those people to get engaged with the external developer to provide some dummy content, and that way they're getting trained up until the go live point, and they're totally on board with the processes to go forward.
Right, that actually answered one of my questions further down. That's good. I've got here social networking and internet selling sites, but that's kind of one and the same with what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, so what you can do is set up automatic feeds. So say you put an item on sale, you could actually have it set up with the so the website basically is hosting the content which you're populating. So you'd have an option perhaps in putting new content on to send it to your Facebook feed or send a Twitter announcement out as well. So you can automate that part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing you can do is you can put those social media things on the website. So when
people can like you, is that what you're
correct?
saying?
Yeah. So people who are looking at the website can go, yeah, I bought that. It was really good.
All right, let's move along. Sorry, I know you. I'm sorry. I'm so glad you came past, but I know you've got another meeting to go to. One really important part I've got here: receiving payments online demands a stringent web application that will cover the Privacy Act aspect with PCI compliance, as well as the continued server monitoring.
Yeah, so what you would do is you would actually engage an external billing partner that does that. So a typical example is someone like PayPal. So they control
E-Way, is that another one?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that way the transaction is... So all the expense of maintaining that high level of security for the transaction is with somebody who's already trusted.
Right, okay.
So as you're probably aware, when somebody goes to buy something on the internet and they see, it's that secure partner, then they're confident that the transaction is safe.
So is there somebody that the company already uses that you're aware of that we could piggyback off? Or
Yeah, so what we would do is our web designer, we would ask them for options.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would fall under their purview because they would be integrating into that. They would need to pop that when people go purchase.
Yes.
And there's a to and fro. So not only are we sending the purchase information to that portal, but they're also sending back that the transaction was successful.
Okay, I've got two more.
Yeah.
Training for the workforce staff. That you've already kind of covered that. If they engage with the existing web developer on the kind of a mock setup, then they would be getting trained on all aspects, as well as the IT help desk.
Correct.
As well, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
I did want to ask about telecommunication system, as well as some kind of an IVR and like a contact center system.
Well, what we can do is the current contact center probably has some web-based transaction options that we could add on.
We don't really have a contact center at the moment because we've just got people walking along off the street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, we can investigate that as part of it because a lot of the contact center software that's generally available, and it's not horrendously expensive.
Right.
But allows you to do things like web-based chat. So
that's what we're actually looking at doing.
Okay. Well, you can either do you can do that as a part of a call center where people can make phone calls as well, or you can do just web-based chat by itself and have just a web-based chat system. So what we would need to do is, as part of engaging with our external developer, is get some recommendations from them on what they have found to be the most reliable and successful, and then perhaps do a bit of evaluation ourselves on what we think is going to be best suited to our company.
What would a base kind of small contact center system cost around
If you were just going to do
including the phones, hardware and software and everything?
You want to do phone calling as well as...
Yes.
Okay, so how many seats of contact center were you thinking of?
10.
Oh, okay, so it's relatively modest for a starter. So if you're going to include the web chat component as part of that, would you also want email mixed into that, so people go click email inquiry, perhaps?
Yeah, kind of customer relations.
So sort of a multimedia approach. So, look, if you budget on something around the $70,000 mark, then that would be a good starting point. And what you'll find is our existing phone system will be able to have that as an add-on application module. So that should be quite successful and easy to do.
Just quickly, was there anything else that you can think of that would help any resource requirements I haven't actually thought of that you thought?
No, the main one I thought is I mean, you'll always have to have budget for the setup. You can't avoid that. So the really important thing is the content management. So if you're not updating the content, you will just annoy people who are accessing. So you really need to emphasize that content management.
Beautiful.
So that I had that as a note that should be looked at, but we spoke about that, so that's fine.
Beautiful. David, you've been so good. Thank you so much for your help.
No, my absolute pleasure.
All right, thank you.